So we're here at the State of Utah's third annual Human Trafficking Conference. That's the Weber County Sheriff right there. I just had a conversation with him.
Really a chance to tell you about Northern Utah.
So Elizabeth Smart here. So I'm talking to everybody about where's Tim Ballard's table. You know, the elephant in the room.
A big round of applause for all their hard work and their spouses.
Sean Reyes, of course, the Attorney General's office is here. He's not here. And so there was a Q&A session set up. Guess what they've done? They've screened. They're only going to put 10 questions up. They've screened it. So the signpost, I wrote the question for them. Hopefully they've got to give them one of the 10. So here at Weber State, talk about the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is Tim Ballard, this Utah State Attorney General's office. So, see the tables that are set up. So, they were going to have an open Q&A. And you know my question, I'm talking the State Attorney General's office. I got, a whole bunch of stuff I want to ask them. But where's Tim Ballard's table? Where's Tim Ballard's table? Where's Tim Ballard's table? That's where all the money's going. That's Tim Ballard's table. So they're not going to let us ask questions. I'm like, why? You said it was open Q&A. They're only going to let 10 questions up and they screened them. I says, you didn't say that. You didn't tell anybody that, but the signpost, I've got them ready. Now, if they don't let the signpost ask a question, and I've got them ready for their question, and it's going to be basically asking about the elephant in the room. And this is human trafficking. I was standing with Elizabeth Smart's uncle when they found him. Here at Weber State. He used to be a professor in the day. But anyway, that whole situation with her dad. He brought 50 different people into the house. 50 different men, strangers. Now, who does that? And the little girl gave them the name. Law enforcement talking about dropping the ball. She gave them the name manual on her list. The little girl gave it, and they were right there under their feet the whole time. Some guy had his dogs and tracked them up into the side hill that day. They had dead rats. It's very sad what happened to her. Talk about a victim in so many ways. By everybody exploit her. My God, is she being exploited now? I don't know. It sure seems to be a lot of money. People raising money off human trafficking. A lot of money being raised off human trafficking. Now, of course, that mega dairy next to me has been accused of it's been going on for 35 years. So, I had questions. My question, I'm going to ask about NUSCA to the Attorney General's office, try to get, they're not going to answer anything on Tim Ballard's State Attorney General's office. They're not going to answer anything. But the signpost is going to ask them about it if they let them. Now, will they? They're going to screen the questions. Of course, they're going to screen.
All right, our next one is Safe Harbor. Safe Harbor is a nonprofit organization that provides shelter, supportive services, and advocacy to survivors of domestic violence and assault. They also provide education, awareness,
domestic violence is very different than human trafficking. Very different. Very different. We support their foundations. Safe Harbors.
Zelinda?
So, domestic violence and human trafficking.
All right, our next
No.
group is the
They're
New
different.
County Sheriff's Advocate. They assist victims and the family members of various types of crimes: assault, child abuse, dating violence, domestic violence, CUI, homicide, robbery, sexual assault, and
I just talked to them about that neighbor of mine.
Some services include counseling resources, information about the criminal justice system, filing protective orders, and providing emotional support throughout the criminal case. Thank you, Weber County Sheriff's Advocate.
Oh, yeah. His victim.
So we work really closely
15 years ago. So they're not going to let us ask questions.
Arson.
Carson, are you out there? Okay, if not, we'll draw another.
So everybody in the world knows that Tim Ballard is the elephant in the room. The State Attorney General's office is the elephant in the room. Now, do I think Sean Reyes is
Stacy,
involved?
off.
No. Well, he was involved, but I think he got tricked.
As we've seen, as
I don't think he had anything to do with
as
any of this sexual
Trafficking
stuff, Sean
Coalition,
Reyes. I know
we
Sean
work
Reyes
very
personally.
closely together.
Now, was he ignorant about it?
This year as a team, we were actually able
Probably.
to help.
I don't think he participated. I mean, he promoted in that movie, but they're the ones that are supposed to. Now, are they going to charge Ballard? I don't know. They talk about a dicey situation we got going on. And then, of course, the human trafficking allegations that are next to my next door neighbor when he backhanded the Megan welfare drug backhand. That's been going on for 30 years. You know, that's not sexual, but that's human trafficking. And this is human trafficking. So,
we are a united team to make a difference, and we truly are. So thank you so much for all your help.
They're not going to let me ask the question. So I've been asking in person.
All right.
They'll laugh.
The Auburn City Police Department Victim Services, designed to assist victims of crime with support from the justice system, as well as provide those victims with community resources.
And that has nothing to do with human trafficking. I talked to both these young ladies. They do excellent work.
All of our object and the winner is Marsha Lee.
Marsha, congratulations.
So here's the thing. These awards with these foundations, they have nothing to do with human
All right,
trafficking.
last one for this segment.
That's
We'll be
domestic
sitting in a little
violence.
while when we get ready.
And-
This is going to be Three Strands Global Foundation. They mobilize communities to combat human trafficking through
Here we go.
prevention, education, reintegration programs. For over a decade, they have worked alongside individuals with lived experiences to prevent future victimization and to support them through their recovery. This has provided us with unique and invaluable perspectives on the impacts of trauma and the vital importance of prevention education in our schools. Through this knowledge, they become a leader in human trafficking prevention, training, and curriculum, both online and in person, for schools, staff, and parents. Three Strands Global truly believes that we can prevent this crime through education, and that prevention changes everything. Thank you, Three Strands Global.
In Nepal by a traffic survivor.
In Nepal.
963-718.
It's a raffle.
Oh, right here. Yay, congratulations.
So
Yes.
the way I feel about this whole thing, it's a hot button issue. It's a way for people to make money and raise money. I don't think they really do anything. Human trafficking? What about what's going on our feet with our own children? We have a mental health crisis from hell. We have a suicide crisis from hell here. You know, so, but they're going to travel around the world and save kids in Nepal?
Trace Minerals.
What?
They're amazing. They
In
are one
Colombia?
of our
Oh my
sponsors,
God.
and we're so grateful for them.
Pick one. All right. The winner of our Trace Minerals basket is Megan Jacobson, number 963630.
Yes, congratulations.
So she has a human trafficking foundation, this woman that's up, her name's Wendy.
Thank
How much
you
she
so
pay
much.
herself?
So much fun.
A lot.
So again, our next break, definitely go out.
So the way I feel, this is nothing but a hot button click, and that's what I was going to ask her.
I wanted to kind of highlight is
You're really going around the world to save
if anybody
people
at
from
any
human
time
trafficking. What about
is
right here, the children in our
feel
own
free to
state?
step outside at any time. We do have some resources and some support and counselors out there. So again, if any of this
So,
is triggering to anybody, please feel
Of course,
free
the
to
elephant
step
in the room
outside.
is Tim Ballard.
So with that,
I mean, my God,
we are
so what
really excited. Some of our team, I have Ben Mikowski with me and Dr. Jen. They're going to help us. We have some incredible awards. So we
Let's
are
see who they
so
give their
blessed
awards to.
here in Utah to have some incredible mentors and leaders. And one of them is here with us today. Her name is Mary Crafts. And we are so excited to have her. She is truly, I cannot say
I've never
enough
heard of her.
amazing things about this woman
I
and
don't know
friend
anything
of
about
mine.
her.
She truly is somebody I aspire and want to be just like. She is truly making a difference in our own state and around the world. She's actually headed to Kenya to support and help those who've been abused and trafficked. And so we are so honored and so lucky to have her here today. And so with that, we would love to give her a special award from our Trafficking Symposium team. And so with that, I'll share Ben help me introduce her.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for being here. My name is Ben Nadolski.
He's running for mayor.
All of you. I'm a busy person too. But none of us are too busy to be here this morning. And that's what makes it important. It's really important that we're not too busy moving
He's running
forward
for
to make
mayor.
sure that everything that we learn tonight
In Ogden.
is carried forward in our lives. As busy as I am, I have a full-time job. I supervise operations for the Division of Wildlife. I'm running for mayor full-time.
I'm voting against him, by the way. You know, they pass a lot of hunt cougars year-round.
But none of those roles are more important than the role that I have, which is always full-time, it's always around the clock, which is the father of 2 daughters. As a father, I am really heartened to see everybody here, to see the resources that are
We're in a political speech.
not only my children, but our children.
Good.
As a city council member, as a community beyond the city, and as a county and great Rocky community,
All the problems we
we
have
have to
in
make our children
Utah.
our number one priority in all that we do.
and they're going to go around the world. Utah's going to go around the world and save the children. What about our own children? What about the mental health freaking nightmare we have here? What about
So
suicide?
with that, I would love to introduce to you all Mary Crafts. Again, we were so excited to have her join us. She, again, is involved. She does so many things. To name them all, she's this incredible entrepreneur. She started her own business in her own kitchen. She started making her own cookies and
Again, that's what this
pastries
is about.
to take care of her
This
own
is about
children.
entrepreneurship.
As a single mom, she was
Is
able
this
to.
really a charitable foundations to
I cannot
save
say
children?
enough amazing things
And they're
about
introducing her as
She
an
truly
entrepreneur?
is such
At a human
an
trafficking
inspiration
conference, she gets
to all of
introduced
us.
as an
And we're
entrepreneur?
so
That's my
grateful
point.
to know
That's what this is
her and
about.
be part of all the great
This
things
whole
that
human
she's
trafficking
doing. So thank
raising
you for being
foundation
a
money is,
mentor.
it's a red
It's
herring.
incredible.
It's an absolute red
I love
herring to
you.
raise money. They introduced her as
She's done so much for the community. I cannot even tell you
an
all.
entrepreneur.
It's so great that
What has she done?
we have
I've
had the
never heard of her.
opportunity to work with her and partner together to help make a difference, because we all know that this
She's
is
an
so
entrepreneur.
important. Sex trafficking really happens here. We all think in the movies that we see that it's somebody comes in a van and they take you off and haul you and take you to another country and sell you. But the reality is it happens here. And that's why we're here today, because it is happening here in our own backyards.
It is.
And we all
Okay.
need to step up and be aware and educated as to what we can all do to help prevent it. And so,
I don't know of any
with
single
that,
case in Weber
I'm so
County, not a
honored
one.
to honor you with this incredible award. And she is the woman lawyer. So we have this made for her because she truly is willing to stand up and fight.
The entrepreneur. Now, this is a human trafficking conference. The state funded. The state of Utah human trafficking. What?
Oh, and that's one of my favorite songs too, Raise the Bat, absolutely. So I retired at age 65, and I'm not good.
All right.
I'm gonna take a load off. And my fiance is 50.
So they're not going to let us ask questions. So they're screening. And you saw I got what I needed to get. Is this really about sex trafficking? No, it's about entrepreneurship. It's about raising money. All of it. You know, I'm going to ask her how much she pays herself. Human trafficking? Okay. All the issues we got. What about suicide? What about mental health awareness? I don't know, man, but so they're not going to let us ask questions. I'll get another video, hopefully. Start playing music, you know, and then the live streams go down. Anybody's caught, you get copyrighted. So, don't they understand this? I see it all the time. As soon as you start playing copyrighted music, it's over. YouTube cameras, Twitter feeds, everything goes down because they have bots that catch it and then knock it down for copyright infringement. Contemporary music and popular music is copyrighted. Hello, hello. So, let's see if they're still playing music. Yep.
100%. I've worked with many
It's about
survivors
entrepreneurship.
of sex trafficking. One I helped out in particular 7 years ago. And what she said to me was, from the age of 3, I was abused sexually. At age 9, I was raped. I began to be groomed. By age 16, I was in the sex trade. And I remained there until age 30, when I turned to you because I saw you on a TV segment talking about the issue. And maybe I could help. Now, 7 years later after that, she owns 2 businesses.
Oh, here we go.
As a functional member of the
Here we
community
go.
and stands
Red
with
herring.
me day after
Entrepreneurship.
day. She wanted to be here today.
Where is she? Where is
but
she?
these are things that were on her plate that she was helping one-on-one people. But we don't realize the problems that we are facing, but they're all connected. You know you're facing sex trafficking, and you know the issue here. Sabrina works with childhood sexual abuse.
Again, it's a
But
red
how
herring for
all
money.
connected we are as one.
That's what it is.
So the answer lies in simply each one of you, thank you for being your warrior, for being here,
Where?
for deciding every single day, what will I bring? Sometimes what gets in our way of helping is our own fears. In fact, most of the time. Like, I have nothing to offer. I won't make a difference. This is just my job. It's not really my passion. They're afraid that what? They're afraid they're not enough. And not enough to help. Who in this room is not enough to help? Not one of you. And that's what I tell myself every day.
Now just remember, they introduced her as an entrepreneur.
But one is enough to make a difference.
That's what this is about.
Thank you.
It's about raising money. The whole Tim Ballard and the Underground Railroad shined an incredible beacon light on this.
So we were going to do a funny little skit to kind of help people understand about sex trafficking. So we were going to have Q Berry here get kidnapped, but we didn't want to trigger anybody, to be respectful. And so we appreciate our 2 helpers that were going to come and help us do this skit. So
They had black masks they were going to put on. They were going to drag me off. And being such an incredible actress, as I was driving up, then we realized, hey, that could trigger somebody. And that's not what we wanted to be about. So we just wanted to acknowledge these good sports for being willing to come up here and provide the white band.
Wow. It's getting more pitiful by the second.
Very
Keep it
true
going.
is. Yes, I mean, she actually started one of the first
skit
women
about
and
inducting
children. Yeah.
Okay, that's a great little story, so I'll share it very quick. When I graduated from college in social work, I went to work for DCFS. And one of the things we dealt with there was that the police would often call us to take battered women that would show up at the police station. Now you have to think this is 40 years ago. Heck, 45 years ago. We had no shelter. We had no place to put them. We had no resources. And so I decided, I'm going to do this. I'm going to start the first we called them battered women back then. Battered women's shelter in Utah County. And I found a little basement.
Of course, it's Utah County. It's where Ballard
we
was
got an
born,
iron
Provo.
bed and a crib.
I mean, this is all rooted out of Provo.
And as I would work with these women, and they would come in, and then they
Why
would
we
tell
having
me,
it in Weber
"I'm going
County?
back today." And I'm like, what?
Um,
You're going
we
back
should have
to
a
him?
mental health
I'm just
awareness
curious.
stakes for us. We should have
I
a
had no
suicide
comprehension or
prevention
understanding
symposium
of the
here.
problem. I started the shelter, but I didn't know what it was going to. And little did I know that 7
We're gonna do a
years later,
skit.
I would be in that shelter. And then I would go back again and again and again for 28 years.
Interesting.
So the level of
I thought this was a
understanding
child
and
trafficking,
compassion
not
that I have
domestic
now
violence symposium.
gives
So
you the
that's
right
the
to work
blurring
with
domestic violence with
and
child
as
trafficking.
their support.
Two different
Very
subjects, two very different subjects.
Thank you for standing for all of us. We love you so much.
She's an entrepreneur.
You're amazing.
Now remember, she's introducing an entrepreneur.
So with that, also, I have some incredible guests that are also fighting this same abuse and trafficking, and I'm so excited to introduce you guys to Ron and Lauren Book. They're all the way here from Florida to help share what they are doing
Oh, the
in
books.
changing
And they're
laws,
selling their books.
education. They're amazing, and they've been so wonderful to work with, and so we're so excited to hear from them today.
Buy our books.
So with that, I will introduce Lauren and Ron to
This is about
join and
money.
share their great.
This is about money.
Hello. How's everybody doing?
This is about raising money.
Oh. It's cold here, but let's shake it out. Good morning. Still, right? I'm wondering, did somebody turn our PowerPoint situation on?
Buy my book.
I know. Well, it'll come on.
This is about money.
Before we get that going, my name is Lauren Book. This is my dad, Ron. This is Claire Dent-Sussman.
Everyone works. Introduced her as an entrepreneur. She didn't introduce her as an activist. She didn't introduce her as a community social worker. She didn't introduce her as just a good-hearted person trying to help people. She introduced her as an entrepreneur. That's what this is about. Where's Tim Ballard's table? And they're screening the questions. So I was going to ask, I had a subset of questions. I wrote the question for the signpost. Now, were they going to let the signpost up? I'm headed over there right now to talk to them, but they said they're only letting 10 questions up. And I says, well, what do you mean you're only letting 10? You said it was an open Q&A. No, and they've screened the questions. So where's Tim Ballard's table? This is a red herring for money. It's disturbing. Stand tuned.